The very first time I traveled to the border, I visited a migrant shelter in Tijuana. The migrants arrived at the shelter like survivors of a shipwreck, wretched, hungry. They had suffered every imaginable abuse and had traveled for months by foot, by bus, by train, and they still hadn't made it across. Their determination was hard to fathom, but so was their hope, repeated almost like a mantra. If I can just make it to the other side, a new world awaits, a new future, a whole new set of possibilities. The migrants' hope surprised me. I knew how difficult life is on the U.S. side of the border. Many people living in the very epicenter of the American dream who felt not hope, but trapped. As a writer, I was interested in the way these two worlds exist side by side, the hope and the reality, and I decided to broaden my research. Starting in Tijuana, I traveled the length of the border, crisscrossing back and forth, and listened to countless stories of those who had crossed the border, as well as those who said the border had crossed them. I met young maquiladora workers who had come to the border planning to cross and decided to stay. Newly arrived farm workers laboring in the Rio Grande Valley. Families from the Tohono O'odham Nation whose ancestral lands are cut in half by the border fence. I spoke with Border Patrol agents, many from immigrant families themselves. Couples whose relationship had roots on both sides of the border wall. And youngsters oblivious to what was on the other side. I spent time with truck drivers, itinerants all, who survived by hauling goods into the U.S. market. Gradually, I came to realize that my own preconceptions of the border were false. The central myth of the border, that hope exists in the North, was inadequate. It's not that there's more hope in the North or that the South is filled with despair. The hope is inside, in the person crossing the border. One day, while driving in South Texas, I got lost in a maze of new housing developments. As I tried to find my way back to the highway, I came upon a rundown trailer park and saw an Anglo woman walking to her car. Behind her, just beyond reach, a wall rose up, and behind that, new houses as far as the eye could see. I began to think about what it means to live in the very heart of the American dream and feel shut out. Suddenly it dawned on me, why not write a story that turns the myth of the border upside down? An Anglo woman, trapped in the quicksand of her South Texas life, crosses the border against the very current of the migrant stream. Why can't she discover a new sense of hope, new future, new possibilities in her journey south?